Hey guys, how's it going? So today we're going to be talking about living in the UK, pros versus cons. So as most of you know, I actually was born in Brazil, but I grew up in America and then I moved here in my teens. So I'm now currently living in London and I thought I'd actually talk to you guys about the pros versus cons, because a lot of people ask me, do you miss America? Do you like the UK, etc. So I'm gonna straight up and say I do miss America, but I do love the UK too. So I thought I'd take you through some of these pros and cons, and yeah. One of the pros that I love about the UK is the NHS. The NHS is basically our medical care, and in America you had to have health insurance, and it's super expensive in America. And to be honest, I really love the fact that we actually get our health care for free here, and I think it's amazing because I had to have surgery last year and I'm kind of I had no idea how much it would cost me if I was in America, so I'm actually super grateful. So yeah, that's one of my pros. So one of the cons, that when we first came here, when my parents first bought a car, this is one of the things that we were kind of like, what? They had to actually insure the person and not just the entire car. So if you're not insured on the car, you can't actually drive the car, which is so frustrating because obviously in America you insure the car, not the person. So pretty much anybody can drive your car and your car is just, insured. But here it's not the same way. You have to put people on the insurance, which is insane, because now I'm kind of I'm actually only just about to start learning to drive, and they mostly drive manual here. We actually have an automatic car, which is amazing. If you have an automatic license, you can only drive automatics, but if you have a manual license, you can drive both. So yeah, it's kind of crazy, but on the upside, another pro is that we've got great public transport here in the UK in general. There's always buses and there's trains to pretty much every town / city or whatever, but especially in London we have great public transport compared to all the other cities in the world, because I remember I used to live in Atlanta and public transport sucked. Yeah, so we've got tubes everywhere, we've got buses everywhere, and it's just such a great public transport system that I'm actually really grateful for, which is kind of why I haven't had to learn how to drive until now. So yeah, that's a pro. Another one of those pros is that we can actually get to the rest of Europe super easy. I remember when I was growing up, I always wanted to visit London, Rome, and Paris, and it was just such a huge deal to actually come over here, if that makes sense. Whereas now it's just kind of oh, I'll get a flight to Rome or whatever. It's the thing to do here, to fly to Spain or to fly to Greece. That's where people go for holidays. Okay, another con is that houses are not as big here, which to us, when we first came here, we were kind of oh my gosh, what is this, a dollhouse? They are so small compared to America. But although it's not ridiculously small to the point where it's oh, I can't do anything in my house, nice and cozy, which is really cool. And that's another one of the cons. Buying a house here in London is ridiculously expensive and not really doable for your normal average person, because if you want even a 1-bedroom apartment here, you're gonna be and if you want it in the city, you're gonna be finding yourself forking out at least 750 grand. It is insane. So trying to find something that's within our budget to live, if we wanted to live in central London, is just not doable. But another pro is that London has a million things to do. You are not going to find yourself bored in London, never having anything to do, because there's so much stuff to do. You literally have, and not only that, you can get to somewhere else really quickly if you're kind of tired of the city buzz. If you kind of want somewhere quiet, you can easily get from London to anywhere else. The villages here, this is another pro too, the villages and all the towns and the cities are so different. When I went to the Cotswolds, I'm putting up a picture here now. When I went to the Cotswolds, I was so amazed because it is so beautiful and it is kind of built differently, and you'll find places that are just built differently, especially to London and pretty much anywhere else in the world. There's still lots of places that I haven't explored. Some of the landscapes and the natural scenery that we've seen, I am in love with all the mountains, and so I'm kind of amazed at how God created the UK. It's just so beautiful. But I'm not gonna lie, I miss American food, toaster strudel. We don't have I don't know, Uncrustables. I freaking love Uncrustables, and just all these like little bits and pieces that I'm kind of like, oh, I miss America. And of course, the weather isn't like the best here. Like, I know that everybody pretty much knows London is kind of like the rainy place, but I'm not gonna lie, it's not as bad as I thought it was gonna be. I literally thought it was gonna be raining like pretty much every single day. It's not. It doesn't rain every single day. It's cloudy quite a bit. It's kind of like all over the place, and we do tend to have like really good summers. Like, I remember last year there was like so many times where I was like, oh my gosh, like it is so hot, especially if you get on the tube. Oh my word, it is so hot on the tube in the summer. It's like ridiculous. Like, we have heaters, but where's the aircon? I feel like, yeah, that's a con, but at the same time, like one of my biggest pros for here is the fact that we barely have any bugs. Like, occasionally you'll see like a spider, and I freaking hate spiders, so I'm just kind of like, oh thank God, like we barely ever see spiders. We don't have centipedes, we don't have cockroaches, we don't have snakes. Well, we might have like a couple of snakes, but it's like, I don't know, I've never seen one. We don't have like bears or wolves or any crocodiles or anything like that. Like, that is not a thing here. Really, we're just kind of quite like blessed here to not have any of that. Another pro is that we don't have like tornadoes or hurricanes. Like, we're kind of like outside of that. So I know that we don't really have the greatest weather, but we also don't have hurricanes and tornadoes, and I'm kind of okay with that because I can just fly to Spain where it's got like really great weather, so it's not really a huge deal. I wish it was more sunny, and I still will continue to pray for it because it is a lot better now than when I first moved here. But yeah, another one of the things that I've noticed is that people in America will definitely kind of like walk up to you and be like, oh my gosh, like I love your sweater or whatever, you know, like that's pretty normal. People are super friendly and bubbly and just kind of out there in America. Whereas here, people don't normally do that. They're a little bit more reserved. You don't talk to people on the tube. You can't just go up to people and be like, hey, how are you? Like, they're gonna think that you're a little bit weird, you know? So like, people are friendly when you talk to them. They're friendly here. Like, there's a lot of banter, people like to have fun, and people are super friendly here. I just say they're a little bit more reserved. So I'm gonna say another con, which is pretty much my last con, to be honest, and it's that you don't really earn as much as you do in America, because like, I'm a wedding photographer here, and I know people over in America who earn like $6K for a wedding, or maybe even like $10K, which to me is like crazy, because like, I'm just like, you could never charge $10K for a wedding here. Like, that is insane, unless obviously it's like, I don't know, Kanye West and Kim Kardashian, but otherwise you can't really find yourself earning that kind of money on wedding photography. In general, like the wages here aren't as like big as in America, but that was pretty much my last con, and I still do have a few more pros. I love that I have an amazing church and community here. Like, my church is Hillsong, and I just think it's amazing because I got so much good community here and so many amazing friends, and I'm just actually super grateful for that. Another thing is that we, like, the gun control situation, like, I love the fact that I don't have to worry about that. Like, people don't have guns here, which is amazing, and I actually think that is such a great decision. I just think it's awesome that that's not a problem here. It's not an issue, which is super cool. Overall, I think the pros outweigh the cons, really, because to me, when I look at the cons, I'm kind of like, yeah, that kind of sucks, but when I look at all the pros in my day-to-day living, and actually having this like wonderful city where there's always a million things to do and you don't get bored, and I can fly to anywhere I want, and I have an amazing church and community and all these amazing things, and free healthcare, and no bugs, and no, you know, all these things where I'm just kind of like, I'm actually so grateful to live here, and I do miss America and I do miss the sun, but at the same time, I actually kind of love it here now. And so yeah, I think that's about it, and I hope that kind of helps you if you're kind of debating whether to live in the UK or not. I am a big fan of the UK. I do really love it here. People are amazing, and everything here is pretty darn great. So yeah, bye, love you all.